All right. Hey, Rockstar, Steve aka Void here, and today we're going to be talking about pull-offs. Now, before we get to that, if you want my help, custom guidance, feedback, support on your playing so that you can play songs from day one, from the first day that you try them, then definitely check out playfromday1.com. That's playfromday1, number one.com. Add your name to the waiting list, and I will reach out after you fill out a few quick questions. Let me know about your guitar playing. I'll reach out and we can discuss moving forward with the program if it feels like the right fit. So let's get to pull-offs. Let's see, first and foremost, the pull-offs. A pull-off, well, let me just quickly show you what a pull-off is. So we have these pull-offs, this kind of thing, where you get two notes for the price of one. You pick once, and then you pull off from a higher fret to a lower fret on the fretboard, okay? That could happen from any combination of fingers. It could be from the middle finger to the index, the ring to the index, the pinky to the index. It could be the ring to the middle, the pinky to the middle, or the pinky to the ring. So it's always from a higher fret to a lower fret, okay? Sometimes it could just be one finger pull off where you're pulling off to an open string, okay? Now, pull offs are a very valuable technique. Like guitar players like Joe Satriani, I mean, his guitar technique has tons of pull-offs in it. And with pull-offs, one of the problems that I see is weakness in the pull-off. So when I hear pull-offs from guitar players who don't really have great technique yet, it sounds kind of weak. So for example, it might not get to the right fret in time, like rather than that, we get like, and it's not really strong. The second note is always too quiet. Ba-bum, 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 ba-bum. And rather than ba-bum, 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 because pull-offs are just supposed to, they're supposed to sound a little weaker than a pick, but it's supposed to still sound as even as possible. Ba-bum, ba-bum, ba-bum. You're supposed to get as close to a picked volume as possible. It's just, it sounds smoother, and that's why guitar players do it, because you don't hear like that. You hear it's nice and smooth between the notes. That's why this is called legato technique. Legato means smooth in Italian. So what most guitar players would do as sort of a quick win would be if they were going to play something that had pull-offs, they might do something that I call the lift-off. So lift-off would be if all you're doing is just you're just playing the note. Let's just say you had the pinky on the 8th fret of the 2nd string, the index finger on the 5th fret of the 2nd string, and you wanted to go from the two notes. A good pull-off would sound like this. A weak pull-off would sound like this. Like that. But what guitar players would do to kind of cheat it a little bit would be to play the 8th fret here and just lift off, like actually just raise the pinky off of the fretboard, but still keep this pressed down. And with clean guitar, it doesn't sound that strong. Like that. But with ripping distortion, I mean, I'm not going to put, I don't know if I have ripping distortion on cue over here, but I'll put distortion on here. Check this out. So if I just lift off, the distortion does a lot of the work to compress the signal. So that does work as sort of a cheat. If you wanted to get like just a really quick win. But I'm going to show you how to do this where even your clean pull-offs will sound really strong. So how that works is I call it the pull-off pick trick. So, and the way that this works, and I talk about this also in my Play From Day One program. I have some videos that I do talk about different techniques besides the feedback and support you get on your songs. I do have some techniques in there, and one of the techniques that I talk about is the this pull-off pick trick. So basically, what you want to do is any note that's pulling off, any finger that's pulling off, you want to imagine that the note it's pulling off to, so like the second note in the series, so here it would be 8 pulling off to 5. So this note here, just imagine you wanted to pick this note. So, whoops. So imagine you wanted to pick that note. So you're picking that note over there, okay? Now that's just a regular picked note, okay? But what we want to do is we want to make it so that, imagine that your pull-off finger, like the finger that's going to be doing the pull-off, that is a pick. Okay, imagine that was a pick, and you were picking right here. It's like if you were playing the pick right here, and you're picking this note right here. So what you're going to do is you pull off and try to get that note to sound picked, then pull off. And when you do that, what happens is you start to think about, oh, I get it. I get the role of this finger. This finger is supposed to actually pluck the string as if it was a pick. Okay, and when you do that, you get a strong sound. And what's cool is that when you add the pick to it, you get like a turbo boost. Like you play, and then when you pull off the way that I just showed you where you pick, it sounds super strong. So it'll sound strong on its own. And you'd hear that I'm pulling off, but then when you add the pick to it, you get this turbo boost. So for example, when you have like a those pull-offs will now sound strong because each pick gives it a turbo boost, but the pull-off with the pick trick makes it sound super strong, so you get a nice even tone with it. And it's all because you're imagining that this note, in this case, or this note, in this case, or this one, in this case, this is the purpose of this finger playing this note is to pull off. Like the pick will play the first note, but the finger will act as a pick for the second note. Okay, so this would be picked, then pulled off, then picked, then pulled off, then picked, then pulled off. Okay, and the same thing goes for open one finger pull-offs. So for example, if you're going to play like Back in Black, this part here, to get a good pull-off, you want to imagine that this note, this finger was a pick that was pulling off and just picking the open string. So like picking, I'm picking from here, okay? So there's a pick there, I'm trying to get out of the way. So like that, and then you just imagine that the finger is a pick. And so you pull off. And that's the job of this finger, is to play the open string in this case. The pick is meant to play the first note, the third fret here, the G. Okay? And then this finger is responsible for picking the open string. Okay? So that's how I want you to think about pull-offs, is as little picks. They're finger picks. So you're plucking the note with that finger. And then when you add the distortion back in, let me just add that distortion back in, then you get strong pull-offs. So and it just sounds really solid. Even this it just sounds really solid with that technique. Okay, so does that make sense? Let me know in the chat box below if that is helpful. Let me know if you're going to use that. It's a nice magic trick, a pick trick that I call it, a pull-off pick trick, where you imagine that your finger is the pick. Okay, so your pick plays the first note, but your finger picks, quote unquote, picks the second note. All right, so if you found this helpful and you want to dig deeper and dive deeper into technique, have me as your coach, definitely check out playfromday1.com, add your name to the waiting list, fill out a few questions about your guitar playing, and if I feel like it's the right fit, because I read every single application, if I feel like it's the right fit, then I'll definitely reach out and we could discuss next steps. But also comment and let me know if this was helpful. Like, share with your friends, anyone who this could help, and I'll see you in the next video. I hope you have a great weekend and a great week, and we'll talk soon. Take care.